And Ripple's brilliant analysis is that they've said that there is no case law in the Second Circuit or the Supreme Court in a securities case where there's no underlying contract. So they say before you even get to Howey, an investment contract must have 3 essential ingredients, and that it doesn't exist here. I'm not going to bore everyone with it, but it doesn't exist here. And so Ripple's saying, Judge, once you look at that, you don't even have to apply the Howey test. And then even if you do apply the Howey test, we win on that as well. So that's what I mean by brilliant, but there's not that, I of course want to hear, and I know a lot of people do, about the utility of XRP and how great it is. But, I understand why Ripple chose that way, because the SEC would turn around and say, look, oranges, they have utility. They're delicious and you can eat them. And so utility is not as important. And so that's probably the analysis that I would give about that. That was my fair reaction.
What's up, everyone? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today we have some pretty interesting updates, and I'll kickstart the video with a tweet from Phylon Law. He says the SEC says it takes no position on Chamber of Digital Commerce filing amicus brief, but asks to respond and may request more time or pages if additional amicus briefs are allowed. That last line is clearly a threat directed at John Deaton. Yassin Mubarak went ahead and responded to that tweet, saying that the fact that the SEC is not fighting Digital Chamber amicus, yet they fight tooth and nail John Deaton's amicus, is highly suspicious, especially given the fact that Digital Chamber doesn't explicitly support XRP as a non-security, even though the conclusion from their filing says exactly that. Is there a deal behind the scenes here? I don't know, but it seems clear Bitcoin and several other highly liquid cryptos will have a free pass as commodities, but the price for that free pass will be choosing the sacrificial lamb. As always, welcome back to Moneyside, your favorite crypto news channel. If you're new here, welcome to the XRP Army. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our daily crypto news updates. In that line of things, we can also see that Ripple and the SEC agreed to expedite the lawsuit on Friday to get an answer on whether XRP is a security or not. From the updates of the case, it sounds like it's in the favor of Ripple. Therefore, there's a settlement potential from Ripple, Alderati, and John Deaton. We aren't going to see those emails. Digital Asset Buy tweeted that he believes Ripple gets what they want if the judge orders those emails released. And I think in return, they will have to give the SEC big cash to give the perception of a win.
I don't even think there's any settlement talks going on, personally. I don't know if that came up with Stu, but
yeah,
that's my speculation. I don't talk to Ripple lawyers, and I have no insight. So that's just me speculating.
Yeah, I mean, I asked the question. I said, what are the odds of a settlement at this point? And he said, I'll say what we've said since day one. The only way this case settles is if the SEC acknowledges that Ripple's distribution of XRP does not constitute an investment contract and the secondary market trading of XRP is not a security. So to me, it sounds like this is going all the way. And that was one of the questions actually someone posed on Twitter. They said, John, do you think that this case will drag out into 2023? And I'm guessing your answer is yes.
Yes. I mean, here's what I have to tell people. I told them I'd always give my honest opinion, is that if I predicted that Gary Gensler is going to sue an exchange or exchanges. He's trying this land grab, right, to get all of crypto. He's now saying that the majority of cryptos are securities. How do you file suit against Ripple, claim XRP is a security, then settle with XRP, with Ripple, agreeing that XRP is not a security, and then go after everyone else? I mean, it's just a very, it can be done, but I just don't think it's going to happen until the SEC is faced with a situation where the political damage of a loss, right, a guaranteed loss, outweighs the potential risk of winning at summary judgment. And so if those hidden emails say stuff like, somebody makes a comment, hey, listen, if you give ETH a pass, you got to give XRP. Why not XRP? Or, there was some kind of suggestion about that. That could guarantee, Ripple success, at least on fair notice, if not on other things as well. And so if the SEC was faced with what they view as a guaranteed loss, then maybe they're like, hey, let's see if we can settle for 50, 100 million and call it a day, and still go after others and try to thread the needle on the optics of it all. But that's where I stand.
And just looking at how this lawsuit is unfolding, we can already tell that Ripple's defense is brilliant. Their summary judgment filing focuses solely on the most fundamental issue, whether an investment contract exists. If the SEC cannot prove a contract exists, the case is over. If the SEC is able to convince the judge, the SEC must also prove that sales of XRP meet all 4 prongs of the Howey test. And then they must also prove that Ripple received fair notice that unregistered sales of XRP sales were unlawful. It's evident that Ripple has created a multi-layered defense the SEC must overcome in order, with each more dangerous as it brings the focus of the court and the public ever closer to the regulatory overreach and personal corruption of some SEC officials. Without any doubt, Ripple is definitely coming for the top spot in the crypto industry. It's just a matter of time. As we wind down on today's video, I want us to look at another tweet by Digital Asset Investor, which says the starting point of the Sin Loomis and Sin Gillibrand is built on a completely false premise that Bitcoin and Ethereum are more decentralized than other crypto. We need a level playing field for all crypto. A good bill can't have a lie at its foundation.
Would something like Cardano be considered a security?
Well, it is most likely that of all of the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum would be commodities. But there are a lot of crypto assets that are not sufficiently diversified in terms of their ownership.
You own 10% of total ETH supply at Genesis. My question to you, given that we're going to be moving on now to proof of stake, and where supply decentralization of Ethereum is so important, can you tell us how much ETH you and Consensus still control on Ethereum?
No, I wouldn't disclose that personally.
Or the manner in which they are overseen. The fact that Bitcoin certainly, and Ether as well to an extent, are tremendously ubiquitous.
Because I want to just double down a little bit more on supply distribution, and it's for you, Joe. Are you concerned at all that early investors in ETH during the ICO still hold and control a lot of the supply of Ethereum?
Zero concern about that.
Given that you've explained...
From what I know, I have zero concern that there's any sort of concentration amongst original owners. I do think that there's
even though it's possible,
I do think there's a chance that there's a concentration amongst people who accumulated after.
In terms of the way in which they are owned and the manner in which their algorithms are approved of, makes them the most likely candidates. And
I know lots of people are focused on doing that.
Early ICO investors to use different tactics to buy into the ICO using multiple accounts, using multiple different identities. That's not a concern for you moving into the merge about investors that potentially could have.
Zero concern.
As always, do your own research and always trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. You can always let us know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have a conversation. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, and please click on that subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next Money Side.